Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this channel, and today I want to answer a few questions that I've been getting in the recent past, especially from the guys who have just cleared and passed their NCLEX, and they are wondering what next after NCLEX. First of all, I want to say congratulations for making it past NCLEX. NCLEX is the big elephant in the room, and once you've put him down or you've put her down, then it's just a matter of time before we formally welcome you to the USA. So I have come up with 10 things, 10 of them that you need to do, or things that you should be doing before you come to the US after passing NCLEX. Yeah, so before we get started, number one, because I don't want us to waste more time, there is a Facebook group that has this information, and there are members in there on different areas, on different levels of transitioning. So you can go to Facebook right now or after this video and search USA transitioning nurses. Thereby go straight into it, and there we have a pool of information to equip you, to empower you, so that you are able to gather more information, because as we say, we make decisions based on what we know. So straight into it, 10 things you need to do after NCLEX. What are these? Especially during this time of retrogression. Someone was asking me, now what am I doing next? It's taking too long. I don't know what to do. All right. So I hope this information is going to be helpful, and you are going to share it to your friends and family who are on the same career path. Number one, do IELTS. So I say that because I did my NCLEX and thereafter did my IELTS. There are some people who have done IELTS, which is okay. You don't have to take this step, but I put it as a number one because you are just from passing NCLEX. You still have the momentum of reading and revising. You still have that that push to study. So I suggest that within 60 days you sit for your IELTS. It has its own challenges. It's another small elephant in the room, because we've seen guys passing NCLEX one time, but they had to sit for IELTS 2 or 3 more times before they passed. So don't take it for granted. With the same vigor, the same focus and concentration that you used to revise and prepare for NCLEX, transfer it to prepare for IELTS. And some agencies, like the one that I had, they have some incentives if you do the IELTS 90 days post passing NCLEX. They offered like $500, which is a good incentive to encourage you to do it as soon as possible. Okay, so get your IELTS done. That way you're increasing your chances of getting more prepared to coming to the USA. Do it as soon as you can, because it's a must-have. So don't postpone it, because when you postpone it, then it means you're not getting ready, because they need those results as part of your paperwork to get you ready for the steps that follow. So number one, pass your IELTS. Number two, this is for guys who are single and have maybe partners, and they want to include them in the process. So it is during this time that you can gather your marriage certificates. There are some people who live together. They are quote unquote married, husband and wife, but they don't have the marriage certificate. That is a very important document, especially when you want to include your spouse to come to the USA with you. So make sure you get that, because it also takes time, because you have to go to the DC offices. You need to get like 21 days to get that paperwork. And if you are preparing to do a wedding, you know that takes even much longer. So make sure you have that in order. This is especially for guys who have not even gotten to that step of sitting for their NCLEX. Keep that in mind, that after NCLEX, you don't have this paper, you don't have this marriage certificate, you have time to get it. So that I won't spend more time on it. We are moving fast. Number 3, make sure you have a valid driving license. Well, you don't have to get an international driving license. As for me, that is wasting money that you need. Because once you get here, they accept your driving license so long as it's still valid, and you can use it for 3 months before you get the USA based driving license. But before that, you need to make sure that your driving license from back home, it's valid. So if it's about to expire, this is the time you need to renew it as soon as possible. Make sure you have it. And as again, I feel on my part, it's wasting money to go and acquire an international driving license. It won't be used here anyway after those 90 days, so I don't see need. Number 4, this is very important step: sharpen your nursing skills. So don't stop working. This is the time to sharpen your skills. This is the time to make sure at the bedside you are top notch. Reason being, the patients in the USA, they want to know that you know what you're doing. So they'll ask you, for example, how long have you been doing this? For example, you are doing like maybe you are putting a nasogastric tube, or maybe you are inserting an IV. They'll ask you, how long have you been doing this? So they ask that innocently, but at the same time they want to know, do you really know what you are doing? So make sure you are confident in your skills. If you are coming to the emergency room, your IV skills need to be top notch, because most patients will require them, and you don't want to be wasting time looking for somebody else to come place an IV for your patient. So this is the time you need to sharpen your skills. This is the time you need to know or to revise all these things that you've learned in class. So keep that in mind. We're moving forward to number 5. This is kind of an addition to what I said about obtaining your valid driving license. Number 5 says, sharpen your driving skills. I can't overemphasize that enough. A person like me, I didn't have a car back home. I had to depend on friends who had cars to give me their cars for practice. And I'm glad that I did that, because once you get here, especially with some agencies like Avant, once you get here, you have like 3 weeks to practice your driving, and thereafter you'll sit for that exam, and thereafter they will get you a car, or you'll acquire a car, and you'll be your own. You'll be on your own. So if there's a time to practice at least the basic driving, make sure that you're confident in that car, because there are so many new things here. The road traffic signs, the huge roads, the speed at which they're driving, different lanes. In Kenya, we drive on the left hand side, here is on the right hand side. Those are new things that you will need to adapt to when you get here. But at least when you know how to drive a car, it will be easy for you when you get here. So keep that in mind, that you need to upgrade or sharpen your driving skills. Again, I can't overemphasize that point. So when you ask what should I be doing, just know all those things you need to be doing them to getting you ready to come to the US. All right, number 6. This is another very, very crucial point. Save money. It is an expensive affair to come to the USA. Even after the agency has sorted you out like 80% or so of the total fees, you still have some expenses that you need to settle. For example, talking about the medicals, you know those vaccines that you need to get, that is money. There is a fixed amount of money you need to pay the actual for the actual medical clearance. Lots of money. I can't remember, but it was close to 30,000 for me, and that is just one person. So imagine if you have a spouse and you have kids. It doesn't matter. We had our son was about a few days old, but he had to go through the medicals, and we had to pay about 10,000, and they practically did nothing, you know. So it is an expensive affair. Save money. If this is the time you need to get, you know, a side job to save you money, do it, because it's gonna save you a lot. The visa screening, that is money. Money to settle you here in the US. My time they were asking about $7,000. That's about what? At that time, before our Kenyan shilling got even weaker, it was about 700,000 and something and change. So keep saving, guys. Keep saving, and if you can't get to it, just get a plan. Find out, are there friends who are willing to support you, family? Do you need to get a loan or something? Have a plan on how to get this money so that your transitioning process can be an easy one for you and your family. Where we are, number 7. Okay, we proceed to number 8. This is a do not. You know, we get excited after passing NCLEX, after passing the IELTS, after, you know, you've submitted the papers, you've gotten your I-140 approved, and then we think that, you know, we are going to the USA tomorrow or next week, and then we start making life-altering decisions that are going to make our stay very uncomfortable wherever we are. So these are do not point, and I have like a few of them, 8, 9, and 10. 8 and 9, they are do not. What you should not do during this time, irrespective of where you are in the process, unless you've actually got your visa at hand, unless you've actually gotten your I would say a visa, not even an embassy date, an actual visa. That's when you can do this. I'm pretty serious about this next point. So number 1, do not, that's number 8, sorry, do not sell your property, be it a house or land, for whichever reason, because you think you're moving to the USA and maybe part of your plan is to sell your house, that you can get some money to help you settle. That may be very costly to you, because during this time of retrogression, for example, we do not know how long it's going to take you to get here. So do not make that mistake of moving from the city where you live, where you are working, and selling everything and moving back home, hoping that you're gonna be migrating next week. It may happen, but what if it does not? You've had people selling their houses, selling their property, you know, so soon, and then they suffer thereafter. Okay, so that's point number 8. Point number 9 that is closely related to point number 8 is, do not pull your children from schools. Yeah, I know we're in the face of excitement. We're in the face of you think that we are moving. That is not the time. That's not the time to pull your children out of school. No, just wait. Wait until you're actually sure that you've gotten your visa, the dates are set, then you can make such life-altering decisions. And I think I missed one that is obvious. Do not resign yet. Do not resign yet, because actually some agencies would tell you when it's time to resign, because they still want you to be on the bedside. They still want you to continue doing your nursing. They still want you to continue to perfect your skills. So do not resign. Do not sell your property. Do not pull your children out of school. All right, so just continue life as usual until that time when you actually get your visa. Nothing will go wrong. I know it varies from person to person, but generally you are more safe to be more patient. You waited for all this long. It won't hurt to wait a little bit longer before you make these decisions that may not only be unfair to you, but also to those you care for. So my number 10 is just it's a point that I put in just to practice philanthropy, because at this point you have passed your NCLEX, you have passed your IELTS, you just may be waiting for the retrogression, and then you'll be on your way to the USA. I'm encouraging you to support those behind you. I'm not talking about financial support, but most people actually need is moral support and hope that they'll get to where you are. I know we tend to play what we call chini ya maji until we have actually moved. There's no problem with that. I mean, it's up to you, but it will make a lot of sense if you hold someone by the hand and tell them what you used to do, give them your revision materials, support them in all ways you can during this time, because they need it. Hope is very crucial for those who are behind you, because it's the only medicine for fear. You realize there are people who fear the process because of very many reasons, but when you give them hope, telling them you had the same fear but you were able to conquer, then at the end of the day you'd have supported someone, and someone will put you in their minds, maybe forever, for the help that you actually gave at that point. And I hope it's not too late for me, because that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm trying to give hope to those guys who are still in the process, those guys who are thinking about moving to the USA. That's why we created that Facebook page, to kind of give people a pool of knowledge before they make their decisions about coming to the USA. And if they are in the process, then they are able to get more guidance and more information like this one that we are sharing today. That way their moving, their transitioning can be smooth and well informed. I guess that is it from my end. 10 reasons or 10 things that you need to be doing during this time, especially when we are dealing with the retrogression. Keep hope alive, because in due time you will be where I am. That is it for me. I hope you have the best day. best coming days.